You're tuning in to Dirty South DJ, radio home of Hot 97.
Hello, Hot 97 listeners. I really have a treat for you today. And this is like a special edition of These Keys. And I just want to thank you for joining us again for another segment. This one's a little different, but I take great pleasure in this one, for real. I really do. So all of you guys that are listening, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support and your prayers. I want to thank everybody that's involved and behind the scenes is doing what they do. And it's just such a blessing to work with such an excellent team. All you first-time listeners, thank you for joining us on this program today. And may the blessings of the Lord be upon all of you. And we're just gonna get right. We're just gonna get right onto it. I'm a little excited right now. You probably could tell. Normally I'm a little low key, but right now I am really, really kind of excited. So y'all just pray for me as I go. And I take great pleasure on this show today because, first of all, I'm introducing a powerful woman of God, lives in Arizona, and I'm just kind of a proud uncle right now because this is my niece. Her name is Kimbralon Barnes, and she's an author, man. Isn't that amazing? I mean, she's an author, and I just want to thank her, first of all, for joining us on the show. Thank you for joining me so much. Thank you, and I mean that from my heart. And so, anyway, she's got a book out right now. We're just going to give her an opportunity to kind of share with you guys what the book is about and who she's trying to reach with it, and we'll just go from there. So, hi, Kim. How you doing?
Just fine. Hello, Hot 97 family.
All right, then. So, Kim, just let me ask you right now. I mean, your book is out now, and interesting title. And it's called F.L.I.P.P. F.L.I.P.P. Why don't you elaborate on it and kind of share with our listeners the name of the book and its contents?
All right. The name of the book is Flip Your Life. And FLIP stands for Faithful Learning in Public and Private. And it's basically a book that's designed for children to learn how to build a relationship with God. And it's really neat because it lists like different things they need to do, like prayer, devotion. But what makes this book so unique is that everything you need to do is associated with a car part because we want to help the children memorize what they need to do and learn it and be able to take it throughout adulthood.
Wow, that is powerful and very unique, too. That is very unique. I was really blown away by it and with the title and then the way that they can identify with the car parts. And, in that way it was kind of instilled in their minds, and this thing would be really, really, really deeper in their memory, too, to kind of apply this as they go on through life. Because right now, these kids, we really need to take our kids back. We need to get them back. And I think this is just awesome. Another question too, and this I had no idea you had to send you. Arthur, man, that is just so powerful. So, how did God move on you to do this book? And was it in a vision, or was it something God dropped in your heart, or what kind of direction did you receive in order to do this?
It was really a blessing, and it was absolutely God-inspired, Uncle V and the Hot 97 family. How it happened, I was a children's ministry director, and we had an awesome service outside, and we had over 36 kids give their life to Christ, which I was excited about it. But I said, you know what? I just don't want to just leave it right there. I would do the kids disservice to leave it right there. So I wanted to teach them how they could keep that fire going with God, even if they face challenges or anything that they would be able to overcome. So I actually made the Flip Your Life a lesson. It was a lesson. And I gave it to the kids. I gave them cards so they would memorize, and they said they absolutely loved it. I talked to my pastor about the book and about the lesson, and he was like, you should make this into a book. And I was like, okay, God, where is he going with this? So I took what he said. It took me a while to come out with it, and then I actually heard a sermon. And in the sermon, my pastor specifically said, if you have that book, write that book. And I'm like, okay, that's a confirmation. So I started writing the book. So it evolved from a lesson to a book, and which I'm excited about it because it was under God. It was under God. God gave me everything. So in the book, like each car part, it's divided in chapters. Each chapter has a scripture, it has a Bible story, and it has everyday application for those children that may think that the Bible don't apply to them today. So it's something for them today. It's something from the Bible, and it's a scripture for them to memorize. And it's questions in the back of the book.
Wow.
So they can learn how to flip their life.
That is really powerful. What ages are you really trying to reach in this book?
Really, every age. No, it's for children ages 9 to 12.
Oh,
but
okay.
honestly, with younger kids, parents can actually teach younger kids, and then with older kids can actually glean from it too.
Absolutely.
So it's easy to modify, and it's not, a baby book, and it's not an adult book. But 9 to 12 children, they should be able to read it independently.
Wow, that is absolutely powerful. God said in His Word to train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he get older, he won't depart from it. That is really powerful. What challenges did you really face in writing this book? Was there a time that you just wanted to just quit, or just what adversity did you face, and how hard was it?
I can tell you exactly. The funny thing was when it transformed from a lesson to a book. So after hearing the sermon, I picked up the book, or the soon-to-be book, and I was like, you know what, I got this. I said, my pastor said this would be a good book. Let me submit it. I found a publisher, and she said, nice concept. Let's send it to an editor, and I was hyped. I was like, I'm on my way. We sent the manuscript to the editor, and she sent it back to me. It had more highlights and red marks in it you wouldn't believe. It needed major work, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was kind of discouraged, but she said, hey, this is your first time. So I submitted it again. She kicked it back again. And I was like, what? I submitted it again, and she kicked it back. But the fourth time was a charm. But one thing she told me, and I knew God was in the mix of this, she told me, she said, when it comes to children's books, I'm really picky because the kids need to get it. So I'm going to be a little harder with you on your book than I would on any other book. And I'm like, okay, God.
Wow, that is absolutely powerful. How long did it actually take you from the very first time you penned this book until the manifestation?
It took 4 years.
Wow.
4 years.
Wow.
4 years, and there was a lesson that I learned from it, because year one, the book was complete. Mm-hmm. But I sat it down for 3 years until I heard that word. And that taught me not to sit on your gifts. That was a lesson in there for me, too, about sitting on your gift.
Wow.
And I realized from sitting on my gifts, and I kept hearing messages about birthing. You need to birth it out. And I wasn't even thinking about the book. But when it came clear, when God made it crystal clear to me about that book, write your book, through my pastor, I knew that confirmed everything that I heard from the birth, everything.
Wow, that is absolutely. I mean, that is such a blessing, and you know, there's no limit when God is in it. I mean, that is just absolutely powerful. I mean, and I am so proud of you. Are your books out now? Just tell the listeners how they could purchase your book.
My book's available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, and also I'm running a special promotion for your listeners. If they go to my website, it's www.kimbralonbarnes.com, and that's KimbralonBarnes.com, and they click on the link to order a book. I will actually sign their books for them and personalize it for them.
Wow.
And give them a message in that book.
Wow. Wait a minute. Speaking of signing a book, I want one signed. I'm your uncle. Don't forget that. I want one.
I'll sign your book, Uncle D.
That is such a blessing. I am so proud of you. And, you know, and I really want you to come back to it a little bit later, you know, later on, maybe in a year, in the book, and just see how it's doing, because I know right now, I mean, wow, I could just see it going through the roof. I've never seen, I mean, this is such a unique way that you put this together, and I just feel God's hand on this thing, and I just know His signature is all over that book. So we probably want you to come back, you know, later on this year, and we'll just kind of see where you're going with it. And do you have, and what's in your future? Do you have, are you just waiting to see what this book is going to do before you decide to maybe write another one?
I've been praying on a part 2. I have been praying on a part 2, but there's something else that's just burning in my belly as well to write for children.
Right.
And I stick with children because they're our future. They're our future, and our children of today is faced with so much opposition because everything is wrong is presented right, and everything's right is presented wrong. And I want to give them something that they can use to get to that next level with God.
Yes. Yes.
So I have submitted and humbled myself to God and told God to use me in any way necessary to get the word out to our youth. Because we got to educate them. It is so important to educate them.
Yes, it is. It is. That is such a blessing. I can just feel that you very. I mean, I can just feel your passion. You know, you talking, and I mean, and I could just see right now you just open to just whatever God is willing and whatever area He's willing to use you in. And so, you know, and I just thank God for you. And I am so proud of you. You know, I just don't even know what to say. Because they have no idea. I mean, but you know, even at a young age, I just always felt that the anointing of God was on you. I really did, because you seem like you always had your head on straight. You always did. I mean, and it is just such a blessing now for me. I mean, I had no idea at that time that God would be using you or me to reach His people like this. See, that's what's so amazing right there. And I'm just feel so blessed to even just be a part of it, you know, and you even sharing this with me, you know, uncle or not, but just to be able to just be on this show and to bless the people with it, it's just unbelievable. And God is just so good. He is so good. Is there anything you'd like to say before to the listeners before we close out? Just whatever's on your mind right now. If you want to pray for them, or if you just want to say something.
I just want to just re-emphasize just the power of the book. It's amazing. I want to just give a little snippet of what they could get in the book. Just a snippet.
Sure.
For example, when we talk about following Jesus, I reference that to the headlights. Because to follow Him, because Jesus is our light. He is our light. And no matter what we're going through, no matter darkness, wherever we going, He is the one that's going to get us through.
Wow.
And so they would see something like that in the book. So they would remember, okay, headlights, light. Jesus is our light. and he'll get us through darkness, and he'll get us through good times too. And hey, them foggy times as well, where we're kind of uncertain. I just want them to know that Jesus is there for them at all time, at any time. And the book's available again on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. If you go to KimbralonBarnes.com, buy a book from there. I'll sign it and send it to them.
All right then.
And one challenge I would like to put out to the listeners as well. If they don't have any children, I challenge all listeners to do a pay it forward. Bless somebody else.
Yes.
Bless somebody else. I challenge, because, we are to go and make disciples in all nations. So you could take this book, pay it forward, read it too, and then pay it forward. Or tell somebody else about it.
Wow, that is powerful, and when you spoke that, I just felt it in my spirit that this book could be a very important tool in schools. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you're right. And plant a seed in somebody else's life, y'all. For real, whether you have a kid or not, just like she said, plant a seed. Plant a seed, and then you plant a seed in somebody's life. You don't know how this book might touch somebody. So you never know. And God is gonna. You can't be God given anyway. So when you bless somebody else, God is gonna bless you. So you be a blessing to somebody else. And that is so awesome. And I am really glad you said that too. I am so glad you said it. And so anyway, thank you so much again for your time. We know you're busy. And just thank you for just taking a moment, just come on the show and just share with our listeners. And
thank you. And thank you, Uncle D. Thank you, listeners. Buy the book. Buy the book.
Buy the book. Buy the book. Y'all need to say it one more time, how they can get it. Say it one more time.
Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, and also my website, www.KimbralonBarnes.com. It's kind of long, but that's the name that God blessed me with. Go to my site, visit me, see who I am, contact me, anything. If you have any questions, I have contact information on there as well. And Uncle, you mentioned earlier that churches could use this. They could use it in Sunday schools. They can use it in their children's ministry, vacation Bible school. If you homeschool your kids, you can teach them out of the book too. And then just for everyday reading, they can read that as well.
Absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to get them in my church. Matter of fact, I'm going to get them in my church.
Amen.
As we speak. I'm speaking it right now. So, again, thank you so much for being on the show. And we would love to have you back, in the future, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. And God bless you. And I'll be talking to you, okay?
God bless you, too. Love you, too. Love you, listeners.
Love you, too. Bye, y'all. Thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all next time. Get the book. Get the book.
Get the book.
All right. Bye-bye. Y'all be blessed.
Bye.
Hot 97, today's hottest internet radio station broadcasting worldwide.